Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm and when you just look at the movies, I think I was looking at a movie. It was not too long ago, and they literally had the kids walking in like the line, telling them that you're not going to be able to leave here. You know, you're here now, and it was like
Mm.
a whole crowd of kids. You know, it came out in like the
Yeah, and that's
huh?
in the 80s.
Yeah, like the 80s,
Oh my God.
70s, or 80s.
I forgot this movie I once saw. I don't know if it's Contagious,
Mm-hmm.
but the thing is that at the end, there's like this father and the child trying to escape, and they ended up shooting the guy, but they missed the girl, and they brought the girl back into it's like a tent with a bunch of kids that look almost like zombified or just like hypnotized to just be quiet. And then there's this it's like a sounding alarm that says you're safe now. And I'm like, oh hell no. Knowing the fact that one day the people who do control in a certain way the world, they want to take over the youth. They want to, make take away. They want to rob the kids of their innocence.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very sad. Like, and it's like, as a parent, you would fear the day that, the government tried to do anything like that.
Yeah.
It's crazy. A lot of stuff that's going on.
That's deep. You mentioned that's
right.
The thing you mentioned right there because that makes you think of the Hunger. I've been talking about that with some folks about the Hunger Games. How that was like our generation who got older, and then like the generation under us who became teenagers. You get what I'm saying? And how they were literally ruled and dominated, you know what I mean, by the higher ups. It's just like, it's crazy stuff because, yeah, you have people out here who really want to, they literally make movies like Willy Wonka, you know. I talked about that with a sister today, how Willy Wonka literally was nothing about pedophilia and, and child sacrifice. That's what the whole movie is about, you know. And we grew up watching this type of stuff, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Monsters, Inc., all of these movies, we grew up watching this stuff. You know, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, we grew up watching all of this. And it makes sense why they let Tom Hanks play Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. He looked just like him, you know? And how the man literally going to say that he don't want to go, what he said, he wants to go to Greece, because Greece called pedophilia, I think they say it's like a mental illness, and he wanted to move to Greece, but all of a sudden Biden's in there now. He's like, oh, I don't, he's going to stay in America.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, they like he's going to stay in America, you know? So I'm just like, it's just, all of this stuff is just crazy how they literally, it's war on our children's mind. And it's sad because, like, you even let them watch Disney, let them watch Cartoon Network or something. It's so much. Like, what's the one show, Steven Universe? I think it's on Cartoon Network. It's called Steven Universe. And on there, with the whole Pink Diamond aspect.
I'm not really. Yeah, I'm not informed about all these new shows simply for the fact that ever since I was pregnant with my daughter, that was 2015, I basically stopped watching TV.
That's good.
And all this cable shit. And I'm glad I have until now because, you see all this new shit on the propaganda that they're trying to push on kids' minds and shit.
Yeah.
And stuff. It's sickening. So there's certain things that she watches, but it's like I try to be like watching what she's watching.
Yeah,
because what I would hate is, So I don't.
No, keep doing
I definitely know it's a lot of stuff out there that. Yeah.
Because Steven Universe got it where it's.
But that's the thing right now.
Yeah, they showing heavy transgenderism. how the kids are starting to look at transgenderism as normal, you know?
Right.
And that's on Steven Universe.
Exactly.
He becomes a girl. On Steven Universe, he become a girl. That's his whole thing, you know. In that world, his superpower is him being a woman, you know. And I'm just like, wow. And kids love it, you know. And it's just like,
right,
how deep the programming really is. It's just like, just think about it, how your kids, how we grew up. Remember, we used to like going outside. They took away.
Right.
Kids already don't go outside as much no more. You go to the park, you don't see kids like you used to. And then they, now that everything going on, they tell me, oh, you know, social distancing.
Yeah, that's crazy because I remember in the neighborhood where it's like all the neighborhood kids used to just go outside and, you know, interact with one another. But now as the video games started coming out a lot more heavier, just playing online.
Yeah.
Crazy the kind of mental prison almost that they're putting kids into.
Yeah, then you grow up, and then it's like you go to, and then the school too is just like how they're altering. We already know the school systems is all programming, but it's just showing how like we're literally, the kids are like, how I look at it now. You go online, you go to class, 3 hours, bam, you're done. You know what I mean? Think how much time that they're losing out on learning, because when you at home, you know, say, for instance, you know, people who homeschool, it's like, I ain't saying it like that, but I'm just like, people who not accustomed to that, kids are not going to, when they get back around each other, they're not going to really know how to, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be a big gap.
Yeah.
A big social gap is what they're creating. You know what I'm saying? Like, transhumanism is really the new world, because kids are not going to want to be. It's like people are losing the aspect of wanting to be human now. They want to be more robotic. Where like, I can go online. I don't have to go. Like, the dating world going to change. I don't have to worry about going to meet a woman. I can just go online. We're not like humans no more. You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
People don't even drink water. It's a lot of people who don't even drink water at all, and your brain is made up, what, like 80 or some % of water? You know what I'm saying? People are not even drinking water. They're drinking pop all day, you know?
Right.
It's just like, they destroy the people, seriously. And,
right.
I look at that, and I'm like, and even I saw a video, too. The guy was in his Tesla, and he was like, I don't even have to drive. I'm just sitting in the passenger seat. I'm getting escorted around by an automatic car, you know?
Right. It's like a lot of things are becoming superficial. It's like, I'm not superficial. I'm sorry, artificial.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like you said, everybody's just losing their sense of reality. You no longer see if a person is smiling. They just have a mask. You can tell a little bit if their cheeks pop up a little bit, but that's about it. It's so sad. A child passed too.
And that's sad, because a child, you know how kids, I see people walking around with their children, and the children have a mask on, and this is not even them at a store. This is them out in public by themselves, you know?
Right.
And I'm just like, the kid don't even have a mask on. I mean, the kid has a mask on, and the mom has her mask, and they just sitting right by each other, and it's just them. I'm like, what's going on, you know? And it's so stupid how we, like how we literally, I see people like, oh man, you know, put on your mask, but then you go to get a cheeseburger and fries, and put your
mouth is right. Exactly. Sometimes I have it on, and I'm like not around anybody. I'm out of breath. I'm over here. I open my mouth in such a way in the mask, and my throat is all dry. And I'm like, oh my God. One day I did get freaked out a little bit. But it's these masks. They really affect you. They make your throat feel like it's real, but it's not like the way the media pushes it. It's not like you see people dropping dead right near you. Like,
Yeah.
You know, in that neighborhood.
Fear is a strong vibration that make us. It actually is the lowest vibration anyone can have is fear, because when you're in an aspect of fear, it's just like an animal. When an animal, you give like a chicken. Say if, and think about just to go in that aspect too. Say if a chicken sees his mom get killed, his brother, his friends, you know what I'm saying? And he's alone and he's witnessing this, his adrenaline is going through the roof and it's creating hormones. So imagine what that's doing to people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The soul is going through that, you know? Because then as people, you know, we have consciousnness. You know what I'm saying? So if our fear is high, we're going to react in a way where we don't think. You know what I'm saying? It's fear. I mean, it's basically matter over logic. You know.
When the people who think they know, and then they see all this chaos break through because of the Blue Beam Project, they're gonna freak out.
Yeah.
And they won't even open their minds to think about that, or give it a chance to, go in depth to that possibilities of everything the government is going to do and it's doing, basically.
Yeah, you're right. Because that Project Bluebeam is a real thing. Because that right there, that type of stuff is no joke. Because they showed on Spider-Man with it's called Far Away From Home. And what happened with Spider-Man is like it was a guy named Mysterio, and he got a hologram. He used a projector, and he used drones underwater. So he'll project like these monsters and all of that with hologram. And then to make it look like it's real, he used drone. Say for instance, a big monster appear like a dragon. It'd be an explosion when the monster go in a certain direction, so people would think it's really real, but it's not.
Right.
You know. Yeah. And I saw that. When I saw that, I said. So then people told me, yeah, they going to Mars, and we had the Pluto. I mean, not Pluto. I'm sorry. They had the Jupiter and Saturn conjunction. I'm like, all of this stuff we're looking at is fake.
Right. It's crazy how they would feel it's more important to put money in to go supposedly check Mars and all this other stuff instead of, taking care of the greater needs. Like, there's a lot of poor people out there. And I mean, I wish, would be happening is so unrealistic because these things don't care about humanity.
No, yeah, exactly. That show how much they hate humans.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. You said these things. You're right, because it's not people. They just disguise.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of them, like Joe Biden, you don't even see him on TV that much. And Joe Biden, that can be somebody in a mask. You feel me?
Mhm.
Because they got realistic masks out here. They do it in movies all the time. Makeup.
Right. Mhm. That movie of the two girls that were white, but they're not. I don't know the movie. I'm not a movie watcher, but of course you and Dad watched a few.
You talking White Chick?
I don't know if you. Yeah, I think so.
With Marlon
Oh
Wayans.
gosh, yeah.
Yeah, that right there was a crazy thing. How they literally emasculate the man, especially the black man like that. Then on top of that, you make him become a white woman. That's crazy,
Right.
Imagine you think it's funny. They think it's funny, and that's the humor. That literally blaspheme the Most High's creation.
Right.
And they think they're going to get away with it when they already know their judgment, but they don't really care because it's like at the end of the day, who can stop me? You know what I mean? And they be always saying, oh God, I feel so good. Thank God for this. When they say thank God at those Grammys, they're not talking about the Most High. They're talking about Satan. Thank you for rewarding me. That's all they're talking about. And it's just like, when you look at all of this stuff, it's crazy how much, when the dust settles, you know what I mean? That's why I said to the man who deceived the whole world are gonna look at him and say, is this the man who made the whole world tremble? Because he's going to feel that he's nothing. The whole time you're thinking that it's this and that. People are really like excited about the new technology. And I'm like, when you look at the new technology, it's like we're going deeper into the rabbit hole. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You got.
It's gonna be very ugly. Like it's the only thing we can always just do is try to be good with God, because if anything, unfortunately, this stuff cannot be stopped. Whatever side you choose, political wise, they're all in some way, holding hands or maybe.
Yeah, that's why I say the two wings of the White House.
Yeah.
That represents it's all on the same bird. You feel me? So.
Right.
Yes. Whose side are you really on? Are you choosing their side? Because either way, they all cleave together. Or are you going to choose the Most High side? And only the strong survive.
Yeah, that's what I came to realization. Because, of course, around election day, you thought, you should support certain side or whatever because the values. But it's sad when you see it don't matter. It don't matter at all, because at the end, stuff is still pushed.
Oh, yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah. That's why everything they do, like the whole thing with the Kamala, that aspect is just, like I was talking to a sister the other day, that's possibly a man. You feel me? And it only makes sense because of the whole transgender agenda. You know what I mean?
It's crazy. There's a post that I saw that said something about Democrats wanting to put conservatives into camp to correct their mind or something. If anything, they would label any Christian as a conservative, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Due to the fact that, anything going against what they want, the atrocities they want happening, it's crazy. It's really crazy. And sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to get the heck out of the United States. But it's like, it's not as easy when you've been here your whole life. You've grown up here. You've born here. Oh God! And then the fact that it can happen. It's gonna happen everywhere. So it's like crazy. It's sad. The kids are the priority for those things and for us.
Yeah, 'cause they're the future.
Mm-hmm.
So when you destroy them now, in the future they'll be destroyed, like us.
Right.
You know how they programmed us as a kid, and then look at our generation now. But then look at the generation under us. You know what I mean? It's just like you look at that, you like, dang, because you see them. I mean, people be like, look at how we operate, though. Oh, man, they don't listen. We'll talk about the last generation instead of trying to reach them, and it's a gap, though. It's a huge gap.
Huge.
And I noticed that, but that's a deep thing that you said. It's everywhere because, it's going to be judgment everywhere. The Most High is going to lead His remnant where they should be. You know what I mean? They show you this, and no matter what you look at, no matter how you read it, and everything, the Most High is in control of everything. So those who's meant to be protected are going to be protected. That's why they say they want to put us in camp, because people are the conservatives they're talking about is basically anybody who cleaving onto the normal, the way where like you just said, people who understand. Look, man, we ain't supposed to do this, we ain't supposed to do that. Transgenderism, all of this is considered regular and normal. You know what I mean? All of that type of things. And it's deeper than just that. But that's what they want us to do. They want us to cleave to these type of things and cleave to their new world system. And I actually was just talking to a brother earlier, and me and him was talking about wrestling, and he made a deep point about how the old NWO group, they used to be back in the 90s, and he was like, how they would do every night, they'll beat people up real bad until they want to join NWO, And he was like, they'll spray paint NWO all over them and stuff like that. Next thing you know, you see the people join them and help beat people up to keep joining, you know? And I looked at that. I said, bro, that's deep that he said that. I was like, that was a deep thing because when you look at that, it make a lot of sense. That's showing people who are going to submit to the mark. You know? And that mark is real because as we see, they already showed it with The Weeknd. The Weeknd, that's why he did the Super Bowl performance. You know, and that's why he's doing it again for WWE place in Tampa Bay. Like, it's all in our face, you know? Like, The Weeknd literally has the mark of the beast right on his face. That's why his face is so soared up. That's in Scripture, Revelation 16. So you look at that, it's just like they're letting you know people are going to have to take the mark. That's what their whole agenda is.
Right. Vaccine. What's your thoughts on that? I'm not in favor of that.
Oh no,
but, you know,
not at all. No. It's just like when you look into that, because even like they always censor. That's why I really don't talk too in depth on it, because they always censor it when you upload it.
Yeah, you're right. All right.
No, you good. No, I talk around it straight. It's cool. But no, like just looking at like I Am Legend, looking at just understanding that when you cleave to that, because it make a lot of sense when you look at that, because like they did it too with what's his name? Elon Musk. Why would Elon Musk the same year say that he want to put human chips in people's brains? Why would he say that? The same year the vaccine is being rolled out. So what are y'all trying to do? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Transhumanism. Remember when I was talking about the MF Doom rapper and you was like, that's transhumanism right there. He was out in the 90s, early 2000s. You know?
Right.
And I was just looking at that, I was just like, this stuff is so deep because I don't know if you remember that movie, the old comics and a movie called Fantastic Four.
I think I heard about it, but I don't remember probably watching it. I'm so off with movies. Like, some movies I know, but not all of them, because, like, I'm barely a movie watcher.
No, that's good. Like, that's good, though. You good. Like, either way if you watch the movies or you look at the news or you hear about something, it's all the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, definitely. It's all, either way, the predictive programming is there. You know? Because, like, when you look at a lot of stuff, like all them hero movies, when they have a villain and they be like, oh, he's coming from another world, he's an alien coming to destroy our world. All of that represents the Most High, you know? That world, you know what I'm saying? So it's just so deep how deep these waters really go, you know?
Exactly. And there's some who'll be like, oh no, you're just a conspiracy theorist. And it's like please connect one and one, and if anything, most of the times it do make sense. There's some theories out there that are far-fetched, but not all of them. So, you know, making sense of it.
Yeah.
And connected to scripture too.
Yeah, that's why I don't be putting no far-fetched, you know, opinion. When I be doing it, I don't do opinion. I actually connect the dots.
Right.
Because if I do opinion, everybody has perception. You know, that's the beauty of creation. Everything has a role. Everything has an angle of perception. But at the same time, one and one, it adds up. Like, people can say, oh, conspiracy theorists. You know what I'm saying? How they show us the kids you watching to grow up. You might think that's a woman like Zendaya. You know, it's been things said on that. Allegedly, that can be a boy right there. You feel me?
Right. Yeah.
They say that's possibly a boy. You know, them people raise their kids up different. You know what I'm saying? Because this is literally trying to be more. You think they care about man and woman being together? They don't care about that. They like, no, we don't want to do that. That's the Most High. We're going to do it our way.
Right, and basically, it's the same thing happening over. That's in scriptures. In Gomorrah, there's a time, you know, when the cities were destroyed. And I guess far in the future, like before all this agenda started coming through, that was not the norm, and now they're trying to bring it up upon. Because, that is what's going to anger the Most High again way more. I mean, there's a lot of things that humans already do just because they allow themselves to be weak to trends and all this stuff. But it's sad.
Yeah. Because you know what's deep about that? Now that you mention it, Genesis 6:6, the Most High already said that he regret making man. You know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he regret making humans, you know what I'm saying? Because he said that they're doing much wickedness. Right. I'm like, that's some deep stuff. Because, like, you see how wicked we are, like how wicked the world, the people are, you know what I mean? Like, think about the stuff they do. When you tell people stuff, they laugh at the Most High, It's crazy how people can believe in Satan but don't believe in the Most High,
Exactly. That's my same thought. I'm like, yeah, I know that the enemy of Satan is God, right? So if you see or hear any kind of scripture that details you what God likes and hates, then why would you doubt it? Why would you of course we all know Satan is the father of lies, and he is just that. So it's very sad when deception hits a lot of people. And it's going to be very, very sad the day of judgment.
Yeah.
Of course, we're not all perfect, but it's way worse, blasphemy into, God.
That's why I said the only sin you can't be forgiven from is blaspheming the Holy Spirit. You can be forgiven for everything else. The Most High, ain't no man's perfect. That's why we repent daily. We're human. We have thoughts. We have a heart. We have ways of doing things. You know what I mean? Look at the world we're living in. You feel me? So, when you look at the world around you, it just makes you sit back and think. Because I was just saying, like, looking at Texas, I was talking about that with a few people. How Texas literally is like, the whole symbolism behind Texas is insane. You know what I'm saying? Because how NASA is there, that's why they have the space there. And I did a breakdown on Texas about when they had that truck crash, I think, by Dallas? I did a breakdown on this when they had the winter storm.
Fort Worth.
Yeah, Fort Worth, yeah. That's like right by Dallas, I think, right? Yeah.
I'm not sure.
But yeah, they had that crash, and I said, wow, this looks just like the Morpheus on the Matrix when they had that highway crash, And then how the storm came, and they had a movie back in like 2013 or 14, and it was like, yeah, we got winter storms swiping all the way across Texas, Oklahoma, Atlanta. I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
The day after tomorrow, they showed us all of this stuff years ago. You know what I'm saying? It's just like when you look at Texas, how it's the Lone Star. It's called Lone Star State. And when you understand the
Lone Star, I think I saw a short preview of that, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that is gonna, they're showing ahead of time what will happen.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And you see how Lone Star represents nothing but the Star of Bethlehem, the Messiah, the Star in the East. You feel me?
Right.
And when you look at that, how Texas literally is a state where it literally gets its own electricity. It can't use electricity for nowhere else. So when they hit them, yeah. When they hit them with that winter storm, it just makes you look at it. Because Drake, they did this back in like when was that song? Astro, Sicko Mode. And how Drake said his dog is good for a Louis belt. You know what I'm saying? How he said it's freezing cold, winter's already here, it's dark outside. And I'm looking at that with with him walking with his dog, because that's the most symbolic thing when, with the dog aspect. I'm actually going to do a breakdown on that tonight. So with the dog, when they have the dog, because Charlie Brown had one. You feel me?
Mhm.
And you know that's so deep because Charlie literally means free man. You know what I mean? And what's deep about that? What's so deep about that? Because you look at that as the Messiah who broke out of the flesh, who broke out of the bondage of this world to save his people. You felt through him comes freedom. So Snoopy, you know how the Most High is all knowing. How Snoopy means to seek out information. And remember what Charlie Brown and them built the house for Snoopy. You know what I'm saying? And when the Most High said, "Build me a house," because my name will last in forever. You know.
Mhm.
And I look at this, I'm like, this is so crazy because Drake is walking with his dog. Because when they saying that's talking about like dog backwards is God. You feel me? That's when he was walking with his dog, and then he started spraying all red in the air. Because he was letting you know that nothing but red. When you look at that, it's nothing but sacrifice, day of judgment. You know.
Mhm.
And I looked at that. I'm like, the people are running into their house on the video, trying to get inside their house because the storm was coming. This was like 2018.
Right.
That's 3 years ago.
Sad, like, and to see all these people on social media that their houses was completely wrecked with water damage and no electricity. They were talking about the stores having to be emptied out because supposedly, not supposedly, but the electricity didn't power anything. And it's so sad. If people were not so accustomed to all the luxuries, I would say, when it comes to electricity, and live how people did back when electricity was not around, I think everybody would do pretty good. But the way that the system is put to make you feel comfortable in such a way, so when they interrupt the system, you're freaking out.
Right.
So lately, since last year or the year before, I think it started last year, I became, very open-minded about trying to be as prepared as I can for any emergency. I have food, that's stashed up for any emergency. Of course, I won't survive only on that little bit because at one point you're gonna run out.
Yeah.
But at least for a little bit, while everybody else is going off crazy, at least my kids will be good a little bit, and I have some water stashed in my home. Emergency necessities, home. I'm thinking of buying maybe a tent. Who knows if I would ever need to? But I feel like exactly. So a tent would have kept those Texans warm, especially because of the body heat inside, and I guess work it out some way. It's very sad to know that the kids are being affected by all this because they're gonna grow up to be so dependent on the luxury, because it's a luxury. If you've got running water, it's a luxury. You've got electricity, it's a luxury. And as soon as that simple stuff that some people take for granted is taken, it's like you don't know how to act. Your brain freezes.
Yo.
But if people knew,
that's deep.
If people knew how to, survive, like I guess how Indians did, how. Like, example, Amish do, we would be not that bad.
Oh,
but
yeah,
not many have known all this.
It's like an apple, right? You got like a whole bag of apples, and then you already clear it out, and none of them are near each other. And then we got apples separated on the table, and one of them is rotten. I'm just going to throw that away, and I'm good. Just lost one apple. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, I remember I had went 2 weeks one time without electricity. And actually, I got to spend more time. Like, I spent time reading. I was relaxed. I was actually, the first couple of days, it bothered me like crazy. But as I sat back, I said, let me go out in nature. I went for walks. I had, when I had, relaxed. But I was like, other than that, yeah, you get around. when they hit us with them blackouts, that's all social experiments.
Basically.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And that's why that's why I say how Texas is, because it already says that the powers of heaven will be shaken. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? That the powers of heaven will be shaken. When you look at how Texas is called the Lone Star and how it literally has NASA there, it's a reason why Lyndon B. Johnson and all of them put NASA there, you know, because they all know this stuff, man. When you look at that, the Lone Star State and how it's literally like its own independent state within America in a sense, you know.
And I heard something. I'm sorry, I didn't want to cut you off, but I heard something about Texas wanting to be an independent state, like not state, but like its own, apart from, you know, the 50 states of America.
Like California Republic, right? I know California.
I don't know,
California Republic.
Oh wow.
I think they were trying to do that. Yeah, they want to do that, yeah, because they don't really. Because think about it, I don't even think Texas has state tax. You know. I don't even think Texas have, like, I think it's state taxes. So like that alone shows like it can literally be independent to a degree, and it has its own resources, it has its own electricity, it has its own oil, it has all of that. You know?
Oh wow.
And then it's right by Mexico. It literally used to be a part of Mexico until they took it away. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, all of that stuff is like it's right in our face. You know, everything, like you just said, the survival aspect of the human is like shocked. It's like really gone for real. We'll figure it out because, like, we didn't know as people we're have intelligence. We'll give us like a couple weeks, like a month being in wilderness. We'll figure it out. You know what I'm saying? But think about it. They already know it. You know. Think about when you had 25, 26 years of you playing, you know, watching the TV, drinking the water when you want, go to the store to get water, not having to go to, you know, get your own water. You know?
Right.
You know what I mean? You can't go drink water out of, like, certain places, like creeks and stuff, because it's too much calcium. You know what I'm saying? It's calcified. You know? So think about that. They already polluted our nature. None of the trees and stuff is really real no more. It's all GMO, a lot of them. A lot of the fruits are GMO. A lot of the plants is like grass is turf. You know what I'm saying? The animals are extinct. Notice how why do you think they're killing all the animals off? They're not just doing that for fun. They're doing that because there won't be no real animals. You know, you won't be able to hunt, you know?
Right. That's always been something I've always thought. I'm like, what if, like, you know, for example, where I live, the deer, if they get contaminated in such a way, I don't know, radiation or pollution, whatever they eat or drink, then how would I be nurtured if I decide to go hunt a deer?
That's deep.
It's crazy.
Remember they had that zombie deer disease going on?
Yeah.
Like in the I think was that like the Midwest, if I forgot where at. But it was like a zombie deers going on, and they was saying they was trying to kill the deer because they was becoming ultra aggressive. Yeah, exactly. So they've been doing this stuff. Like they take, you know, like you just said, if they eating contaminated foods, and then you eat from them, what do you think gonna happen? You're gonna get contaminated because it's like poisoned meat, you know.
Right.
You see how Bill Gates, how he's telling, let's do clone meat. Let's block out the sun, you know, because they're destroying nature. They're destroying nature. So it makes you sit back.
Exactly. And many think that, I think it's a good idea. The earth needs to cool off. I don't know about that, but if these rich people would decide, rich things, decide that, you know, they want to quit their evil and stop messing up the environment, then we can get to somewhere. But they don't care.
Nah. They doing rituals right now as we speak, you know?
Exactly.
You know, they're doing rituals as we speak. Like that whole theme of just like being in that realm, like the stuff they do, they don't eat like us, they don't live like us. You know what I mean? They live in a whole Bill Gates. They asked Bill Gates was he eating the Impossible Burger that he helped create for Burger King, which actually has 10,000 times more estrogen in it. It's a vegan burger at Burger King called the Impossible Burger. It has 10,000 times more estrogen than a regular Whopper. You know how much estrogen, how much feminine that is? That's not good at all. That's not healthy for no one, really, not even a woman. But for a man, imagine a male eating that consistently. You're going to become like a girl, like a female. So think about what they're doing. They even put it in the water. I heard that, forgot where it was. It was a test they was doing where they literally start putting some different type of chemicals in the water that can turn a frog gay. Because, you know, a frog, I think, is, by default, I think it'll mate with men. But it said that they literally turned it gay because it had a certain gene in it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And what they did was they said they basically, you know, they putting that stuff in the water, the food. That's why the men by default are effeminate. You know, because once you take that masculinity away, it's all feminine. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to know how to protect his family or none of that. I don't know what's going on. But that right there just show how much they can test on us. You know, we're one, we're a soul, and two, we have a mind which is like a computer. So it's easy to program us, you know.
Right.
Like that's what that's how they, you know about the hippies, right?
Yeah, I do.
You heard about the hippie movement back in like the 60s? You know the hippies when they used to be out in California, you know, all dressed weird and doing the psychedelic mind trips. All that.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah, how that started. That all was started by the elite agencies when they would basically put what they used to do. They used to basically it was started at Stanford College, and what happened was they had a test group where they'll experiment on them with psychedelic drugs. So they'll give them the pills and all of that, and they'll do the drugs, the shrooms and all of that, and they'll become highly addicted, and they'll go into a dream world, like La La Land. That's why they used to be migrating, just walking around the city, you know, out in the Death Valley, all of that. Just wilding out in the hills. They dressed weird. They were like zombies. And what happened was the kids got so addicted that the agencies was they're not giving them no more of it. And so what happened was the students started making it themselves, and that's how the hippie movement started. They basically was under mind control, you know? So I'm like, it's crazy how they literally had them under mind control. You know what I'm saying? It's deep stuff how they do us time and time again, and then we literally that mind control aspect is a real serious thing, especially because think about it, how they gave us the crack in the 80s and all of this stuff like that. They've been controlling our minds through the drugs, through the food, through the water, through TV.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so think about
it's crazy. This whole, when you think about the drugs, like you said, you know, okay, good. For example, you have all these drug problems, but it's like they set it up a certain way just because they want, you know, youth to be lost, and it's very sad. The people, the stuff that's in like higher power, that's one of the ways that they have successfully controlled a lot of homes, a lot of, you know, homes, because if you had the man present, not, you know, regardless of whatever race, you know, ethnicity, maybe the child would grow up to be, you know, good.
More order.
Such a way, not lost. Yeah. And it's so sad the way that they have, you know, messed with the family. Because there's one time I was speaking about the, No, I'm gonna go do that. One moment. I'm coming, Jackie. I'm coming. I'm sorry.
Oh, you good? You good?
Yeah. So it's sad because now the attack is really big on the family, and this one person was like, "Oh, it doesn't matter because you know the family gonna be destroyed." It's like, really? Why would you say that? Why would you say that? As a family member who said that, and I'm like, wow, your way of thinking is very poor.
Yeah.
Because if anything, the family needs to be strong. Of course, like I told this one person who was just surprised that I shared with them that the Bible do say that the man has to lead, but the man can't lead if he don't know how to respect God, how to be in constant prayer with God.
Yeah, that's true.
So we see in depth how society has definitely crumbled down the family structure.
Oh yeah. They attack the families because that's deep. You mentioned that because like as it's written, if a man don't know how to lead his house, how can he build the kingdom? And
exactly.
And it's so deep on that because once you take away the head, it's just a body without a head. Like I was talking to a brother the other day, and I was like, the body of the Messiah, how they broke away the body of God is they social distance it now. We can't interact no more. We can't connect. And then on top of that, they what did they do? They basically, it's like the old doctor game, board game, where you would take the heart, take certain parts of the body out, and mess up its function, you know? And that's what they did to us. And it's deep that you said that because once they took away our family structure, that hurt us not only as an individual, because it's like this. Your family, think about it, everybody be in their own room, don't even know each other. They don't. You know how intimate a family dinner at a table is? That is an honor.
Right, exactly.
We don't. When is the last time you see that? You haven't seen that in years.
Right.
You know?
People. And it's a true blessing when you still got that around. Very big blessing.
Eat together, don't sit at the table. You know, it's order in that. The head of the table, the wife, the sons, the daughters, you know what I mean, etc. You know? It's like nowadays, what they do, they eat a dinner, they go to the restaurant. You know, your mom probably be in the living room eating her food. You might be in your room eating this. Your brothers in that room. No, they ain't no. The technology is. They don't even have no family intimacy no more. It's all about, hey man, I'm on my game, or let me get on technology. And when you say something about that, families don't want to hear that. But well, we ain't got to do this all day. You know.
Right.
We didn't.
Oh gosh, talking about video games. Men are starting to not be men anymore when they're so attached to the superficial. I keep saying superficial.
No, you're right. No,
but I mean artificial.
That's true because superficial is showing stuff that's lacking reality, showing stuff that's lacking authenticity, you know?
But it sounds to me a lot better, like, you know, they are artificial because, you know, it's not real.
Right.
The sense of reality is not there, even though it's need to look or feel like it is.
Yeah.
So a lot of kids, like, if they're male, they don't, if they have their dad around, most of them don't pay attention to what their dad knows, to what their dad can teach, so that they can become, strong men, strong husbands, fathers, and it's very sad. They don't even go outside to see what nature is anymore.
Yeah.
Because they're wrapped up around the game. And then it's even sadder when the parents are allowing that kind of foolishness to be addicting for the kids. Just because, they have good grades. That's sad. No, shouldn't be that way.
Yeah, that
even if they had good grades, that's a bad way of giving a clap or, a reward.
Yeah, you gotta you know what I mean? I get where you're going with that because that's a great topic to bring up. Like, it's a lot of people who have become desensitized. A lot of people don't even work out no more. They just build their guy up on, say, FIFA or 2K, That's who they are, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people who don't read or learn anything no more because they rather get money on Grand Theft Auto while their rent is due. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's just like, yeah, we've lost. But at the same time, in this reality, we're like video games. To them. We're like the Sims,
Mhm.
And in the Sims, what you create the family how you want it. And that's why they sell us celebrities and make us think, oh, you know what, that's how a family should be. Look at Jay-Z and Beyonce, they're happy. You know what I'm saying? That's a power couple. When these people is all a script, to sell us a fake reality.
Exactly.
So it just makes you really think about how deep this stuff goes.
Mhm.
I went over to South America how reality was. It was like, I play the game here and there probably once every couple of days, because I'd be out experiencing stuff, and people were they was on their phones and stuff like that, but they were still intact with family and reality,
Mhm.
America is where all the stuff is like, the dynamic is just like, they want you to do what thou wilt. That's how they sell America, just to do what you want. You don't got to worry about nobody judging you. You live your life, do what you want to be what you want to be. It's your life. And I'm like, people say that, well, people can do what they want, but they like, do what makes you happy. When you tell somebody that that's leaving blood on your, this stuff this person doing is wrong, you ain't got to come at them like no a-hole, but, just try to reach them somehow. Don't just tell them to do what makes you happy, because that right there is like you leading them on, to, egging them on and what's wrong,
Right.
Like, go back to what you said about the kids. You egging them on. Okay, yeah, you feeding them more poison when you just like, all right, you get all A's, you will get you a PlayStation 5. Kids are going to go out there and get all A's because it's not going to be to build themselves. It's going to be to get that game,
Right.
We lost the honor aspect. Think how much of a gap we got from ancient times. It's a big gap,
Very. Mhm.
But yeah, this was an awesome call though, for real. Like, I really enjoyed this. Like, that really, you really opened my eyes to a lot of different aspects.
Yeah, definitely. Same here.
Yeah, likewise, cause especially with the aspect of the survival, that's a topic. Think about it. The first thing people gonna do. Remember that before, we ended and everything. The big part that got me was the tissue. Remember that?
Mhm.
How people were fighting over tissue, and when you go to Walmart, remember everything was gone. Remember?
Exactly. Mhm. I was thinking to myself, y'all don't think that, okay, worst case scenario, you really didn't have tissue. You can use anything. But if your body is asking for water, you can't drink shampoo. You You can't drink alcohol, rubbing alcohol. You can't do that. And if your body wants nutrition, you can't eat a pair of shoes. You can't eat the latest trend coming out. You can't do that. Yeah. And your body is cold. You can't put on that brand new bag that you bought.
Or that brand Xbox, yeah.
Like, come on now. Yeah. Right. And it's stuff like that, I think it's okay to, purchase if your money is there. But I think meeting your necessities first. If you really think toilet paper is your first necessity, people have to reevaluate themselves because that's not right. Well, I mean, a stock of toilet paper, sure, it's okay, but if you're going hungry, that's not the best thing. Or if you don't have a emergency plan, then what's life?
Yeah,
no.
Think about
and then if you don't got God with you, it's even worse.
Yeah, that tissue aspect was deep that you mentioned the tissue, saying that because it made me think about something going back to like the mummy. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Remember when all this first broke out, you look at the tissue aspect, like it's like dead souls mummified with tissue. Like that whole, they do certain things in codes. You know what I'm saying? They showed us this in the Boondocks with the Popeyes episode. This was back in like 06 when everybody was going crazy about the Popeyes sandwich and how they I did a deep food breakdown, and I need to do a part 2.
I think I remember seeing it. Yeah.
About the taco, how that represents nothing but like the energy that Satan give off for his frequencies. When I looked into that, I'm like, this is crazy because the TA and CO on the periodic table literally is like energy transmitters. So when I looked at that, I'm like, that's why you say Taco Bell. And it was a whole ritual on a Taco Bell commercial with a pig man inside of a glass.
And I believe you. Stuff on TV is nothing but ritual.
Yeah,
really. If you think and you look deeper at it.
Yeah, you're putting that in your body. That's why I don't even eat Taco Bell. Like, I ain't even gonna lie to you. When I used to go to Taco Bell, that's why it's always in the hoods. When I used to go to Taco Bell.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. Example, Baltimore. For example, Baltimore, Maryland. When I used to go there, oh my God, I'm like, where are the grocery stores? Where do these people get nurtured? And you have to really be deeply searching because if anything was mostly available, it is liquor stores and convenience stores. That's it. It's very hard to find a nurturing food place. And then fast food is right on spot.
Yeah.
How do they expect the people to, get better? And then all these drugs around the streets, and it's crazy. And it's hard, I would believe, to not get mixed in with the whole crowd when you're living there. And it's very sad. The conditions that Baltimore is in. Like, Baltimore can do so much better if those things people cared, but they don't.
Yeah, Baltimore.
It all comes down.
I've been to North Baltimore by the Light Street. I had went there last year. This was 2019, like September 2019, because I was in the DMV area. Went to go visit some folks out there. Went to DC. It was pretty cool. But Baltimore, I went to North Baltimore. And I was like, that's nice. I guess that's like the more upscale part with like by the harbor. That's like where all the whites and everybody, it's more diverse on that side. But when you go into the hood, it's like The Wire TV show.
Oh yeah, it's sad. It's pretty sad how, it's sometimes affordable when you think about the living, but it's not worth. It's really, really, really sad because like these people put a system in where you feel like it's very hard to escape from.
Yeah.
It's very sad.
Yeah, because when I saw that Taco Bell commercial and they showed the pig man, and in the scriptures in Deuteronomy 28, it's actually a curse that we are going to eat the children of our bodies, because what that meant, eat your children, because they used to do sacrifices onto that's why you got the Planned Parenthood, And then when you look at the Planned Parenthood buildings, it looked like the steps onto the altar of the god of child sacrifice, Moloch. And I'm looking at that, and I'm like, wow, because when you look at like a lot of fast food, it has what is it, HEK? I think it's the HEK cells from the kidneys of aborted babies. They put that to flavor drinks and foods. So like people are literally eating their own, you know what I mean? Children, man, this stuff is crazy, and that's why Taco Bell, and they be taunting you too. They call it Taco Bell Illuminati. They call it they had a whole ritual. Even Little Caesars commercial, I saw.
Even the sauces.
Yeah.
The sauces, Diablo sauce. That means the devil. Like what?
Yeah, Diablo. Yeah. When you hear that, yeah, you know that's Satan. You know, like El Diablo. Yeah, like that stuff is deep. Cause I saw that and I'm looking at like the Taco Bell commercial. That right there really put me under shock. Cause I'm like, this is deep, man. Cause they got a whole man that's half human, half pig inside of a glass. That made me go like, wow, what are we eating? What you think that's ground beef? We don't know what that's coming from. You know, they could be making pig. You already heard it in Japan. They already made a pig-human hybrid. What if they're feeding the people this? You know what I'm saying?
Right. It's nasty. It's abomination. And not always do you know where your food is coming from.
Yeah, it's sad because you'll be thinking you're eating this, but that's why your body, because I remember when I was living over there in Ecuador and I ate, my stomach, none of that was never hurting. None of that, you know? The water was it was good and everything. When I come back, as soon as I eat, like, not right away, if you know, I had to adjust again. But later on in time, you eat, your stomach hurt. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, wow. What, like, this stuff is not real food. It's all processed. They say processed, but what is it processing from? You feel me? We know it's processed, but where is it coming from? You know?
Right.
Like hot dogs. Hot dogs, I haven't eaten a hot dog in I don't know how long. All the hot dogs do, when they do the hot dogs, they take like feces, like basically like doo-doo from the animals. They mix it up with water, and they coat it together, and then they literally like put it like in a case, which is the hot dog.
Oh wow!
And they just and then they ship it out.
That's crazy. You were talking about Ecuador. Oh my gosh, not saying we're any bad or nothing, but I remember I bought some bananas from the grocery store, and it says it came from Ecuador. Oh my God, those bananas lasted 3 weeks. They looked almost yellow and green still. I was like, what the hell? What's going on with these? And then by the time I finally realized that those bananas have been sitting on the counter for so long, I tried to open it. It was the nastiest thing ever because when I touched it, and it was so hard to peel it.
Yeah,
and
GMO. That was GMO.
It felt like plastic.
Yeah, that was.
I was like, no.
That had to be. That was definitely GMO. 3 weeks.
But
that's a long time. 3 weeks for a banana.
Right, and it still looks brand new.
Yeah, that's just like the fruit. You know, you buy your kids toys, and they got like the grapes. You know what I mean? That type of vibe. Like, nah, that's crazy.
Yeah. But at this point, it's like really hard to like avoid certain foods.
Oh like, yeah, it's hard. You gotta, and then people be like, I'm going vegan, but like, I'm like, yeah, you know, you put in more, you know, you can look at it like that, but a lot of the stuff like the naked drinks, they drink naked. That literally has all that sugar in it, you know. And then a lot of the foods we have, unless you really gardening yourself, it's kind of hard to really like, because you at least know what you're putting in your body. But when you go into the market buying a GMO orange and you say, okay, I'm healthy, even though you go to a Whole Food store, they fool them too because a lot of that stuff be GMO as well, you know?
Exactly.
But you would never find a Whole Food store inside the hood. You would never find one.
Exactly. It's very sad, and they make it that way on purpose.
Yeah, because you
on purpose.
In the hood, you know, you got diabetes, you know what I mean? All kind of diseases, the cancers, everything is all in the hood. You know, the alcohol is right there. Like, look, I remember they shut down the ABC where the liquor store. People were depressed. They was like, how am I supposed to get my beer, man? I ain't about to walk off that way. I'm like, that's crazy.
It's sad. And then for food, what I do know, it's always a prayer needed before the food. And sometimes, you know, some people, I myself, and sometimes I'm guilty with not praying for my meals, and I feel bad about that. I need to work on that a lot because, you know, sadly I wasn't, you know, raised that way too. I mean, I was raised to believe in God and all this, you know, prayers, but it's like, it was hard. Sometimes we did, but it was like, not like given, like explain the importance. But then I remember in scriptures, I was told that, I don't know the character in the Bible, but that he prayed over his food, and whatever it was disguised as came out. So
you're talking about,
I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
Peter when he prayed. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That right there too.
Yeah.
What that represented too, that was a real deep. That was a parable.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a very deep parable. I had the scriptures on that when he literally all the food, like he thought that was a Bible, but that was really talking about like people who have like certain ways, you know what I'm saying? But like you can become, you know what I mean? You will become renewed, you know? It's like the aspect of the water and the wine. When the water gets turned to wine, what that represented was like, because as it's written, we're a vessel, you know what I mean? That's why I say you can't put old wine in a new, you know, vessel because of the crack. What that means is like basically when the water becomes wine, when you become renewed, you become a new creature. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's deep though. But no, praying over the food is definitely important because, you know, we got to pray to be nurtured. Because food really, whatever you put in your body goes to your mind eventually and your blood. And that's why I say you become whatever you eat. You are what you eat. Because if I'm always eating abominable things, I think after, 7 years or something like that, your body eventually starts to be like showing it, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
yeah, for real, this was a great call though. We definitely gotta do this again. For real. This was a great call. But I really appreciate you taking the time to really conversate about these things.
Yeah, no problem. You're welcome, and, you know, glad to be speaking about all this and, you know, spend a little time about talking about these topics. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Just stay doing what you're doing, you know, just keep living for you and your family and stay aware,
definitely. You know. Thank you. And I sure will, you know, continue trying to be up to date.
And sometimes I had to do it too. I had to take a separation too. I did that for a minute, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
I be more in nature than I used to be. I do it like every day now. I'm like, because it feels so good to be around the trees and the water and really like absorb that and be more direct with the Most High. It just feels so good to do that, you know, because just being around technology, I study stuff like this and I know what's going on, but I don't lose touch with that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't lose.
Because regardless, what we can only do is expose, but it's not much control you can do over it. Yeah. And exposure is big because you open the minds of many people.
Right. And you don't know, you know, like I said, you spark the brain of someone who can, you know, play a big role, you know.
Yeah, but definitely, I'll, keep up with your videos. Try to keep up with your videos because sometimes I just be busy and it's like sometimes I barely be on Facebook.
Oh no, you're
Yeah,
good.
but
No, live. That's what I said.
yeah.
Live. You know, and stay aware.
Yeah.
Mainly live first. That's the first thing we gotta do is live, because you're a mother, so you gotta live so your children can, live properly. So no, it ain't no offense or nothing like that. I definitely understand. Like that's why I say I just let you know, like, hey, check it out, blah blah. But like that's why I always say when you have time, because I understand, motherhood, and you know what I mean, you gotta maintain. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, definitely we're gonna talk soon. Like enjoy the rest of the day.
Yeah. Thank you, you too. Take care now, okay?
All right, you be blessed, okay?
You too, thank you.
All right.
All right, bye-bye.